When we're editing interview clips, we need to let the audience know who the interviewee is. It's usually done with something like this. It can be called a strap, a super, an Aston, or a lower third, depending on who you're working for. So to create one of these, all you have to do is click on this A icon in the bottom right of the viewer window, go down to text and select lower third. In the controls tab, you can put the name of your interviewee in the sample one text section and the title of your interviewee in the second box, the sample 2. So this is Chief Executive of Sheffield City Council. Okay, so the next one down, the background section, we want to create a solid. You want that to be white, and then you want to change the fonts to black so that it shows up on that white background we've just created. If you click on the video tab, you can see it's starting to look a bit like this, but it's not quite right yet, so we need to tweak a couple of other things. So we'll go back into controls. You want to make the name bold and about 23 in size, and then you want to make the size of their title about 21, and you can see that that's starting to look a lot neater, a lot nicer. Now to get this onto your timeline, I'll remove the old one. You need to put an in and an out on the timeline where you'd like it to appear. You need to make sure your tracks are selected correctly. So I want this on video 2 because we want this to appear over the top of our interview clip. So you drag and drop and you can see it's on the timeline there. It looks a bit high up, so I'm going to click on it. I've got my image and wireframe selected and I'm just going to move it down a bit so it looks neater. And then I want a dissolve on each side of our lower third so that it looks neat and it appears professionally. So I'm going to go to dissolve, cross dissolve, and drop one of those on the start and the end. If you double click it, you want to change it so somewhere between 6 and 12. So you can see they get smaller. And then when we play it back, you'll see it dissolves in slowly and it dissolves out slowly. I'm just rendering this so that we can play it back. I go through that in the next tutorial, but if you need to do it at this point, all you do is press Alt and R. So if you have this red line, just press Alt and R, and then it will write the video and we can play it back. Okay, so you can see that dissolves slowly in. It's on for long enough for you to read the information, and then it dissolves out. You can also do this with an edge wipe, which I think also looks quite nice. So back in your effects tab, if you go to video transitions bin, and then it's in the wipe bin, and it's the edge wipe that you want. So if you drag in the edge wipe, again, you want to double click on it and make it about somewhere between 6 and 12, depending on what you want it to look like. And then we need to render again so that it plays back. And then you can see it wipes on from the left and it wipes off towards the right at the end. So you can choose whichever you prefer. If you want to create text for a title card or any other type of text, all you have to do is get our viewer window looking normal again. So we need to just double click on any clip and go back to this A again. It's text and text again. And then in the controls tab, we can write anything. So, you know, say it's day 1 in the Big Brother house or something like that. And then you can see that's what we've created. All you have to do is drag and drop it and it will appear wherever your edit tracks are selected on the timeline. If you double click on that and go into the controls tab, you'll see you can change the font, the size, the alignment. You can make it bold, italic, change the colour. So you can play around and make that look exactly how you'd like it to.